Jimmy Garoppolo had his best year by far last season with the San Francisco 49ers, in part because he played the entire season all the way through until the Super Bowl. Yesterday, Coach Kyle Shanahan spoke with Chris Sims on the Unbuttoned podcast about, among other things, his quarterback. Here's some of the conversation.
You've told me a lot of positive things about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's unflappable. You know, he has the right demeanor to win. But it also seems like the team really loves Jimmy G. Like, tell us just what it is about him that seems to make the guys kind of gravitate towards him.
I think it starts with your talent, first of all. I mean, the way he throws the ball and stuff at practice, some of the plays he's made in games. Guys believe in him. Look at our record here with him on the field and our record without him. So it starts with that. But the way he carries himself to the guys, he's always one of the guys. He's always himself. When he comes in the building, he's not the CEO of the building. He's like one of the guys. You know, they're comfortable around him. He doesn't act different. He's their age, most of our guys. I mean, he's right in the middle of the pack of everyone, and guys believe in him. I mean, when you're like 4-22 without him, and then you have his record with him, and I know the circumstances were different, especially with our defense and stuff, but guys know that. And when he's gotten in, he's made plays, and it's just like the practice field. And when you have guys like that, I mean, guys are excited to play for him. And then when you're a good dude, and he'll never throw anyone under the bus, no matter what.
Right.
I mean, you see how good he is to our teammates at the press conference and everything, and they know he's got their back, and so they got his.
What's the teaching moment for Jimmy G last year? You know, just the last thing on him. I don't mean to beat this to death, but of course he's the quarterback of the Super Bowl team, and everybody talks about him. But like, what do you take away from the year that you'll try to preach to him as, you know, the banner theme for 2020 football season?
Mine to Jimmy is just that you're just getting started. Last year was your first year playing quarterback for a whole season. Like, you've never had a longer than a 3-game stretch, and last year you got 16. And look how good you did. Look how far we got. And, oh, my God, we almost got all the way. But that's not the finished product. And that's what I feel about everything. I feel about myself. I feel about our team. Like, guys, we didn't just almost get there. We're still going. And you have to get better. And what I like about our team is when I'm talking about Jimmy, how can he not get better? He's played one season. And that's just a starting point. You look at some of our receivers, some of our D linemen, like, we got guys who almost played good enough, and we almost coached good enough last year for us to win a Super Bowl. And that's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow that it wasn't enough. What's really cool is when I look at our team, and I'm not making stuff up, no one's at their peak individually. Our guys should get better. Like, our guys can get better. Our receivers can, our D-line can, our quarterback can. We got guys who can get better, and that's what's exciting. And with Jimmy, I know everyone thinks he's been in the league so long because he's gotten a second contract and everything. But quarterbacks, with his ability, they get better the more they play and the more situations they're in. And that's the key for Jimmy, is just to know that and keep doing it.
Kyle Shanahan with Chris Sims on Jimmy Garoppolo. And look, the narratives that emerged about Jimmy Garoppolo last year resulted from a couple of things. First of all, he had some unfortunate throws in the divisional round playoffs against the Vikings. He threw 3 passes that should have been intercepted by Eric Kendricks. One was, the other 2 weren't. After the last one, the 49ers shifted to all run. They stayed in all run through the divisional round, through the conference championship round, creating a question as to whether or not Jimmy G was going to be Bob Greasy in Super Bowl 54, throwing the ball maybe 8 or 9 times at most, and then he came out and threw it more. And there was a time before the Chiefs turned it around, people were saying, hey, Jimmy G is going to be the MVP of the game, Charean. And then it all came down to having the opportunity to hit Emmanuel Sanders with the game on the line. He missed him, and that's kind of where we are. Like, they got a great team around Jimmy G. I've yet to see anything that makes me say this is a top-tier NFL quarterback. And when you have the opportunity to make that championship throw and you miss it, that's your chance to bust through. And it's pass-fail, and it doesn't come very often. It came for Jared Goff last year, and it didn't happen. It came for Jimmy Garoppolo this year, and it didn't happen. And until he makes a throw like that in a Super Bowl, that ghost is going to linger for him.
Yeah, I think I was just going to start out. I think I like Jimmy G more than you do, Mike, and I do see him going to get into that top tier of quarterbacks. You're right. He still has that, and he has to get past that. I understand that. But it was that last point that Kyle Shanahan made, and I was going to make that same point, is this is a young, older guy in that he's played 6 seasons, but he hasn't played 6 seasons. He hasn't played very many games. Last year was his first 16-game season, as Kyle Shanahan pointed out. The more you play, the better you get. So this is a young guy who knows the offense, who knows what he needs to do. He knows how to read defenses now. I think we're going to see Jimmy G have one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league this year. I really do. I think he's going to have a great season. I think the 49ers are going to have a great season. On paper, they look terrific. If he can stay healthy, I think this is a team that you're going to look to be in the NFC Championship game, if not advance to the Super Bowl again, and give him another opportunity to make those throws that he didn't make in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl this year.
And regardless of anything that Kyle Shanahan said yesterday about Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G is on notice. He knows he's on notice. He's addressed it himself. The idea that they evaluated Tom Brady, and Kyle Shanahan talks about that with Chris Sims, talks about why Shanahan took it head on and told Jimmy G about it, but they looked into the possibility of bringing Tom Brady home to the team that he grew up rooting for, and there was some thought that that was Brady's first choice. And at the end of the day, Jimmy G ended up being the 49ers' first choice. But the message is not that anyone needs to hear this. If you're not getting it done in the NFL, they're going to find somebody else. And it applies at every position. And they are in the years of the Jimmy Garoppolo contract where it's very easy to move on if that's what they choose to do. Minimal cap hit, minimal financial obligation. They could move on after 2020. They could have moved on after 2019 with a very minimal cap hit, like $4.2 million. So, hey, maybe that is the thing, Charean, that nudges him to the next level. That kind of backhanded threat to his status. If you want to be the year-to-year quarterback of this team and you want to hold this job the way Brady held it for as long as he did in New England, you got to step up and you got to get it done. And we'll see if that's the impetus for him to do it.
He did so many great things in the regular season. He had over 100 passer rating during the regular season. He had 4 fourth-quarter comebacks, which was the most in the NFL. He did a lot of great things in the regular season. In the postseason, not so much, especially the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, which is what we remember right now. He's got to get past that, move on, get another chance to come back and redeem himself from that. And, you know, a lot of quarterbacks, you look at Matt Ryan, didn't get a chance to do that. The fourth quarter of the Super Bowl still lingers, and they haven't gotten back. And maybe they never get back to the Super Bowl. But you hope for Jimmy G's sake he does get a chance to get back and make a play in the fourth quarter and redeem himself.
Yeah, and that's another thing that comes up in the podcast. I was critical of Kyle Shanahan basically pressing the fast-forward button for 2020 to the point where they're holding a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. And I said this out of respect for him because I think he, of all the young coaches, has the potential to be the next Bill Belichick. And I could never see Bill Belichick articulating that thought in any setting because you have to understand how hard it is to get back to that spot, how hard it was for them to just get the 1 seed and win their division. It came down to the last drive of the last game of the regular season, and it very easily could have gone either way. You know, it's kind of like the corollary to the Chiefs' belief that they can win all these championships. You got to thread the needle over and over and over again, and in hindsight, when you get to the end of the road, you look back and you realize all the potholes that you missed and all the other calamities that could have happened to you that would have knocked you off the road for good, and you somehow managed to miss it. You know, just like the Chiefs are going to have the target on their backs all year long, the 49ers are going to have the target on theirs, and the easy part is finishing the job with 7 minutes left and a 10-point lead. The hard part, by far, is getting to the point where you have a 10-point lead with 7 minutes to go in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's a great point, Mike. Nobody had the 49ers with the target on them, the bullseye on them. Hey, we're aiming for the 49ers last year. I mean, this was a team that was coming off a losing season. And now they have that target. How are they going to play with the bullseye on them? How are they going to play with everybody wanting to knock them off? Hey, we beat the NFC champs. We can, judge ourselves against that great 49ers team. And something else to pose, they play in a great division. All those teams in their division are going to give them a run for their money. So it's not even going to be easy to win their division this year, much less get back to the Super Bowl.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.